Letting you folks know right off the bat, this is not a tutorial video of any sort. Instead, it is more of an idea of the philosophy behind how and why I edit the images that I do from my X Pro 3 to look this way. And the thing is that Fujifilm, I think, allows for a lot more freedom than other camera systems do necessarily. The exception probably being Olympus. So let's go through this. First off, what you should know about the Fujifilm X Pro 3 is that we reviewed it not too long ago on our website. Here it is, the Fujifilm X Pro 3. I call it the GOAT of Fujifilm cameras. I really genuinely think so, and mine is actually not too far away from me. It's one of my favorite cameras ever. So you should go check that out. But the idea behind Fujifilm is they're a company with all this photographic history, and they are trying to find a way to embrace it with this camera. So the Fujifilm X Pro 3, it's designed in a very specific way, but also so are the images. They have the classic negative film simulation. That's one way, but there are obviously other ways when it comes to design. So let me delve into why I edit everything the way that I do. So first off, what you can realize is Fujifilm images from the X Pro 3 have a look that's far different from Canon, Nikon, and Sony. Those brands, they're really just about trying to embrace images that are as clean and as problem-free as possible, I guess you could call it that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this image. And as you can see, there's very little editing that was done, probably none. And this right now, as you can see in Capture One Pro 20, this was in the classic negative simulation. If I wanted to have it look more like a Canon, Nikon, Sony image, I'd probably go for Provia Standard, and I'd edit from there. Or I'd go for Velvia, and I'd just edit from there, and that would be it. But Fujifilm allows you to have so many other things, and I've talked about this with other camera testers on press trips, for example. So you have Acros, and Acros is designed to look exactly like their films. So depending on how you adjust it, it will look exactly pretty much like their films. And that's one of the things that helps make them so much different. There's also, let me go to another image. Yeah, might as well. There's also the idea, let me reset it first. Oh, no need. There's also the idea that they have classic chrome, which a lot of photographers really love. That look right there. And there's also classic negative, which a lot of photographers are also really smitten with. And then you have the pro simulations, like the pro films that they have, and Provia, and, Velvia, and all that kind of stuff. So you can brace these accordingly as you want to. Now, what's really cool about that is it gives you the ability to create an image that's very unique that you can't necessarily get from Sony, Canon, or Nikon unless you buy in and get more presets or something like that. So I think that you should really embrace these film simulations. So let me find another image. Yeah, I might as well use this one. Notice how I have some images marked as red and some marked as green. The green ones are the ones that I like. They're my selects. So yeah. So if I were to edit this in Acros, it would look pretty cool. I would find a way to, first off, daylight white balance, because that's the look of film, although you can do whatever you want to. It's totally up to you. And from there, I would find a way to say, okay, I want more contrast. I want to kill the highlights a lot more. I want to boost the shadows to get more details from that dude. And deepen the blacks. And yeah. And then I get a pretty cool image. I can probably find a way to tune that up even more. There you go. It's really cool. I like that photo. And that's something that, you could probably get that with Sony, Canon, or Nikon, but you wouldn't necessarily see the difference or be able to know it at least right at a camera or anything else like that. So let me reset this. First off, this is the image, I think, in classic negative. And in classic negative, yeah, there you go. You can't really get that look at all out of camera. Same with classic chrome. And same with Pro High, you might be able to. Provia, you might be able to. Velvia, I wouldn't really say so, because, I mean, look at the red in his skin. You totally don't get that. So it's about embracing that look. I'm going to choose another photo. Let's choose, no. Let's sort by green first off. I don't like that one. Let's choose this one. Yeah. This was a couple just on the sand, showing each other how much they love each other. Might as well use this image of the dude, though. So there we go. I'm going to edit this photo, and right now it's in classic negative mode. So, going to set the white balance very quickly. And now, showing you this is classic negative. So, okay. Let's find a way to embrace the flaws of film. So, when you think about film, you think about stuff like grain and maybe vignetting and all that kind of stuff. So, let's, before we even do that, let's actually edit the image. So, I'm going to brighten this. And I'm going to add some contrast. I'm going to kill the highlights. Maybe a little bit of that. I'm going to deepen the blacks. And less contrast. Yeah, I like that. And now, classic clarity. Now here's what I'm going to do. That's going to make it a little bit even more film-like. And just making sure again that I'm in classic negative to show you. I'm going to add vignetting. Remember that? The photo industry fought for years against vignetting. But it's a cool look. And Capture One also gives you this other option for, where is it? Here we go. Film grain. I'm going to do, let's do silver rich grain. Let's have impact. Let's do granularity. And take a look at this. Nice and grainy. Basically the way that you would look at a film scan or something else like that. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to embrace that with other images here. Look at that adorable dog. I know you want that dog, and I want that dog. Especially now during COVID. I'm going to give it, let's give it a harsh grain. Let's see how that looks. Granularity, ooh. That's starting to look cool. Yeah, check that out. Versus, actually no, let's fully embrace this look. So, gonna give it daylight, make it even warmer. And I'm gonna, no, I don't want acros. I want pro, no. Let's do, yeah, negative would make more sense for grain than chrome would. So let's do this. And let's do this. And let's boost that. And raise the brightness. And there we go. Cool. We've got a nice, more filmic look that's a little softer. I can decrease the clarity. And now you'll see that it's got this like nice filmic type look. That's still sharp. Because, well, film is sharp. So now what I want to do is I'm going to copy this adjustment and let me apply it to all these images. Let's see how that looks. That actually looks pretty cool, especially for that. Same there. That's my friend Erica. Yeah. So this is about embracing the specific look that Fujifilm can give you, and Fujifilm is really designed for. These film simulations are not really gimmick. They're actually designed as a creative tool. So let me do that again. Let me do, you know, I really love the negative look, but I'll do chrome. I might as well. I know there are people out there that love the chrome look. So, gonna decrease the exposure, kill the highlights, get some more, lower the brightness, boost that up. I'm gonna boost the shadow so I get a little bit more there. Let me kill the highlights even more. Okay, cool. Now I have classic. And now I'm going to vignette. Because, you know, these areas are not really incredibly important to the image anyway. And I'm going to add some film grain. Why don't I add soft grain? Let's see what happens here. Ooh. It's actually starting to look cool. And actually, Fujifilm has its own grain simulation that can be added in. It's just, this is for people that really might want to do it later on. That's a cool look. Versus the sort of sterile image that it was earlier on. That's got a lot more character to it. Let's do it with this guy. This guy, he was actually really nice. These images were shot during the polar bear plunge in January here in New York. Decided that I would wake up and go. I did the same thing last year, but last year was super warm. Like, it was in like the 50s here in America, and this year it was nearly freezing. Actually, I remember, I think it's one of these images. Yeah, these are my socks, like rolled up, and the water came up to like my knees. Years ago, previously, like I would go all the way up to my waist, but I was not about that life this time around. Anyway, editing the classic image. And adding some grain in. Let's add a cubic grain in. Let's see what that looks like this time. What I also wanted to do was vignetting. Notice how the vignette, because of the composition, I'm putting him in the center. It adds more to the image. And it's not really a crutch per se. It's more of finding a way to make whatever is in the image work better for you. And it looks pretty cool. Like, this is the original. And now this is my edit. I think I like the edit a lot more. I'm not usually a guy that actually really likes editing either. But in this case, I'm just like, okay, well, let's do it. I prefer to get everything in camera if I absolutely can. This was an image that I was editing before. So, daylight, making that even cooler. Killing the highlights, because the X Pro 3 is amazing when it comes to actually rendering highlights and all that kind of stuff. Don't really need to push the shadows more, so don't worry about that. Classic. Vignetting. And you can change the type of vignetting that you get. I think I may change it to a circle a little bit more. You can also do this really cool, like, reverse vignetting. I don't really want to do that. Lightroom can do that too, just an FYI. And I'm going to embrace this as... What ISO was I at? 160? Provia, Sepia, Velvia. Actually, Velvia looks pretty cool. So I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to make this even warmer. 52. Let's make it less. That's more purple. I was going to say 5500. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Let's also do this. That's Eterna, that's Classic Negative, that's Chrome. There you go. Cool. So this is my philosophy when it comes to editing images from Fujifilm. You just have to find a way to embrace all of the flaws that people may think are actually flaws. But to me, they're not really flaws. It's just beauty within the image that you should be embracing, because that's what it's like to actually embrace like a Fujifilm mentality. It's really about, you know, finding a way to create an image that looks a lot more like film and embracing the, I don't want to say negativity. It's absolutely not true. It's more about embracing the things that are otherwise considered flaws in the industry. Yeah, that makes sense. Here's the last image. I'm going to do tabular grain this time. Going to boost that. Might as well crop a bit too. Actually, no, that was in perfect accordance with the rule of thirds. I didn't even realize that. Wow. So I'm going to rotate freehand instead then. And I'm going to give this some vignetting. Oh, it has already. That's reverse vignetting. That's actual vignetting. Cool. I could crop this even more to make it even stronger. Really, I could do something sort of like this. Those women obviously are pretty important to this image. How much more can I go in? Not really a lot. That's what I get for shooting at 16mm. Whatever. So I'm going to undo this crop and just have this image live its best life. And that's really about it, guys. I hope that this helped you. This is my philosophy. It doesn't have to be yours, but I think that it should make people think differently about Fujifilm's images. Alright, folks. Thanks a lot, and take care.